The Land Cruiser looks amazing. We're here all night finishing it up for the auction. It's 10 a.m. Central Time. The auction ends in a few hours. So we want to get you some final shots, a video, cold start driving, and a recap of the final things we did. So with that said, let's do that cold start. Hood shocks are good, as you'll notice. I don't know if we mentioned that before. Here's the exhaust manifold, engine. It's ice cold. So I'm gonna go in and start the car. We'll get some exhaust shots and then come back to the engine bay and talk about a few things. Beautiful. No smoke, nothing out of the tailpipe. That's what we want to see. If it does blue smoke, it's typically valve seals, but we don't have anything to worry about here. The fan kicked on right here. Fan clutch, usually cold start, this will spin faster, then it'll slow down, idle down after it warms up. And it sounds good. Even cold start, it is quiet. Power steering, we fixed that. There's a hose deep down that was not changed, so we got that taken care of. Heater control valve, done, all stock. Brake booster hose, and 2 metal clamps and this plastic clamp, all factory, done. All right, everybody, it's the midnight grind, literally. We're replacing some of those parts we talked about in the first video. We've got some clamps here that are no good. They're the worm gear style. And then we're replacing this whole assembly up here, the Daco hose, the broken valve. We're replacing the original broken valve. We've got all those parts here. So we got factory hoses, factory clamps, different kinds of clamps here. We've got your water valve. Okay, this is the most important part of this build. Not because of the hoses and the clamps, but because the attention to detail. So if you look at other Land Cruisers, these might not be replaced. They might be aftermarket hoses like this. But we do everything OEM. We are very particular with clamps, hoses, part numbers, everything. So we've got a brand new water hose here. This shuts off the coolant flow to the heater core. When you turn on the AC, that way you're not blowing hot coolant through the heater core. We've got pictures, references, parts diagrams to know kind of how this all goes together. But here's your water hose for this side, essentially. This is gonna go like so. And then we've got 2 identical hoses. So these are both, I think, number 2, bypass number 2 or something on the parts diagram. But basically one goes here and then you cut the second one to length. They actually even give you like the millimeter length in the parts diagram, and then we reuse this little elbow. So we put that back on. Now, clamps. Never use these clamps because they come loose. Heat cycles and such, these are going to come loose. They just do, and then stuff leaks. You don't want to use these. You want to either use OEM or OEM style. You can buy these spring type clamps on Amazon, although they're not going to be in the exact size that we need for OEM hoses. It's just going to get close to what we need. These clamps, so these are cool because you basically stick something in here and twist them clockwise and it tightens the clamp. This is like a permanent style clamp. These are really cool. I really like these. These clamps are going to go on this side. So basically what's going to happen is these permanent clamps are going to go onto the left side of the heater valve. Like this is all going to be done. And then this unit gets installed into the car. So it's made so if Toyota were to sell this as like a complete assembly, essentially this would be all together one piece, and then you would just put this into the car. But they don't, they sell it separately. So you got to kind of build it how the factory wanted you to build it. So, like I said, we're going to get started on this, doing some cuts, measurements. We want to make sure these are exact. We can't just botch this and then have this short or long. We got to do it perfect. So let's build our water valve. Now, silicone spray, we use this all the time. This just helps with hoses to slide onto what they need to go onto. It's safe for everything. So this one's going to go here, and you see how easily that slid on. There is a stopper here, so you know like when to push it to. It'll just kind of stop on there on its own, and you're flush with that. Now this hose uses 2 of these, so you can like get crazy and you know, hide these or figure out which way exactly the OEM installed them. The only way you could do that really is if you reference old pictures or find a stock one and kind of go from there. But so 2 of these go on here, and then we're going to need our elbow. So I'm going to need to get this off. So we've got made in China hose here, of course. Duralast. Like, this is just not the right way to do things, guys. Here's our factory elbow. Again, these hose clamps, I see these on like transmission lines, power steering lines, and they're all leaking, every one of them. I never come across one that's like not leaking over time. Sure, it'll work fine at the first, but then, yeah, not good after a while. So this has some coolant on it. It's a little lubricated. We're just going to spray a little bit more of our silicone spray. And we know this goes here, like so. Where it seats, you know, you can kind of eyeball it and see kind of where the wear marks are previously. And this is going to sit something like that. Again, we can hide these in the back so it's flush like so. And then all we need to do is measure this one to where it's going to attach to the hard line in the engine bay, because it's not going to be that long. Probably going to be that long, maybe half length. And this hose got this little padding here. That's going to go over here. But before we do that, that is a different clamp. So this side uses the spring clamps. So technically, this is supposed to be kind of a permanent fixture in the car, and you can pull this off easily by way of these clamps on both of this hose. I think the bottom one's the same clamp, I'm pretty sure, just so you can kind of separate this. All right, so you got a tiny screwdriver, and basically you just turn it. I don't know if there's a special tool for this or what, or how Toyota does this, but as soon as you start to turn it, it's gonna firm up a little bit and get tight. So it's not gonna need a lot. Very, very easy on this. You'll feel it, and then you won't be able to pull this off. So once you get to that point, you're almost there. Maybe just one or two more kind of half turns, and you'll feel it really snug down on that hose. What that's going to do, it's going to do a nice, even torque around the entire thing. So that'll ensure nothing is going to leak. And it's a constant tension type thing. So this is not going to loosen up over time like those stupid worm gears. This one I want to get turned a little bit more, maybe another quarter turn. Maybe it's not going to let me. Sometimes you have to use a little needle nose in here and kind of pinch it and turn. Let me find one of those so we can just snug that down, but this is pretty close. All right, we are done. Snug, nothing's going to leak past there, and really you can't turn it anymore, so you know that's kind of the end. That's all you can do. So let's go mount this up and get some measurements and go from there. Final steps here. Very excited. Carefully put that in place. This final hose over, and then bolt our water valve in, and then we can tighten this final clamp right here, and then put on that elbow and cable. Window moldings. We weren't kidding when we wanted to do this thing perfect and do it right to all you buyers. So these should just pop out. A little bit of persuasion. The front ones, you may need to remove the interior door panel, but I think these rear ones just have clips. You hear them popping out, and I'm just using this tool towards the back, towards the window, to kind of pull it upwards. Probably not a bad idea if we lower this window so there's not any resistance, because I can feel these are kind of sticking a little bit, but there's just plastic clips, so it should just pop out. Let me lower the windows. All right, window down, and we are prying again. Yep, here we go. We got plastic clips that break off, which is normal when you remove these. You're supposed to like reuse them or something on the Amazon version, but we've got OEM. We're not going to Amazon. What we're going to do now is just remove these clips here that are still stuck here, and then we'll clean this up because this has never been cleaned since probably the car was made. Then we'll put the new one on, just pop it down. And all right, we got the clips out. We're just going to use a simple non-abrasive cleaner here. We use this for interior cleaning. It's just like a citrus kind of cleaner. I mean, that's getting everything off perfectly, as you can see. Rest easy knowing that the paint underneath your brand new door trims is clean and good to go. Now, let me show you this. This is the most exciting thing ever. We've got brand new door trims from Toyota. Look at the quality of this. Look at these clips, the felt. I mean, everything on here is just, oh, it's beautiful. Here's the old one. There's like a gap here that fits this rear window arm. We'll get rid of that. And then we know this goes this way. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This literally changes the entire car. I need to get in tighter here because I'm so excited for this. Now, these clips are OEM, so they've got a little curve on them. The curve goes in the little hole that's in the door, and just kind of gently seat it down, and all you got to do is just gently push it down. I'm kind of mad that I even have dirty fingers. I should go wash my fingers before doing this, but look at that. We're gonna do the rest. This thing's gonna look awesome. All right, one final test drive for you guys. Power steering's nice and quiet. And the bigger tires, you can feel them on the road. That's expected just because they are so giant. But it tracks straight, that's the important part. You let go of the wheel, it drives straight, drives true. It's a beautiful truck. Brakes are good. The parts list shows those brake pads were replaced in the past. Nothing to worry about there. Just drive it and enjoy it. That cruiser's all warmed up and the engine is silent. That straight 6 is perfect for balance, and you just hear very quiet rocker noise, cam noise. All your pulleys, your bearings are all quiet. Power steering pump is quiet. Alternator is quiet. This is exactly how a proper 1FZFE should sound.